Out of Burlington, massive 8-alarm factory fire at a food manufacturer. Crews have been at Echo Lake Foods now since 6 last night.
Again, as you mentioned, not far from Highway 36 affecting that area. The company makes egg products and breakfast foods. Angelica Duria joins us live once again there where she was standing by for that news conference that the mayor had last hour, updating everybody on the situation there. Good morning.
Right. Good morning, guys. And this is still a very active, a very fluid situation here at Echo Lakes Food. Fire crews remain on the scene 12 hours after this fire started. You can see behind me, it's quite a distance away, but behind the trees, you can see smoke still billowing from that building. Once again, that fire is still active. It is not under control at this time. And again, fire crews continue to monitor it, as well as the air quality, because of a concern of toxic fumes. Now, that fire was reported shortly after 6 o'clock last night. Officials believe it started in the production area of the main building of the factory, but there continues to be a fire on the second floor. Burning oil is making suppressing those flames extremely difficult for firefighters. So this is a massive fire that required a massive response. At its peak last night, more than 80 fire departments from 8 different counties and 2 states responded. Now, there were concerns about ammonia tanks leaking toxic fumes. It prompted a hazmat team to respond. The situation, however, at this moment is stable, but there were evacuations to both the building and the neighborhood nearby. Crews remain on the scene to monitor those levels. As for Echo Lakes Food, well, it's a plant that processes egg products and breakfast food. 300 people are employed there, so those are the jobs that are at jeopardy right now. We weren't sure how many employees were inside at the time of the building, but fortunately they did get out safely and no injuries were reported to either the employees or the firefighters who responded.
Everyone is out of the building as far as employees go. They all escaped. No one was injured that way. And as of right now, we have no injured firefighters, despite the weather and the icy conditions.
Now, of course, the weather is obviously a big concern here. We've got pretty high winds right now, very cold weather. They say they are rotating fire departments, obviously, to keep them safe from this fire, but a massive response as they continue to monitor this fire. They say this is the biggest fire that they have dealt with here in the city of Burlington. As for the cause, though, that is still under investigation, but as I have mentioned, air quality was a big concern, so they did have evacuations. And talking about that part of the story, our Trip Brewster is here, where the hazmat team had to respond, and even Red Cross.
That's right, and that was all the precautionary measure. As you mentioned, there were concerns not just with the fire, but with ammonia tanks at the plant, and that just in itself caused evacuations. Of course, smoke also being a danger nearby. We were told this morning that the Burlington Police Department evacuated 10 homes and 1 apartment complex approximately approximately 1/2 mile east and south of the factory. And that, of course, due to smoke inhalation and the possibility of ammonia being released. As Angelica mentioned, hazmat teams were on scene, but that was just a precautionary measure when it came to those ammonia tanks. We found out this morning that, in fact, no ammonia was released from those tanks, and so there is no danger there. However, smoke does continue to billow from the plant as firefighters continue to try and stop the fire from spreading. We've been told this morning, while the site is under control, the fire itself still not under control. This morning I was up much closer to the fire where they had a backhoe they were using to essentially tear down the building piece by piece to get at the fire to its core, to just try and get that out. As for those neighbors and the apartment complex, we're told that affects approximately 50 people. All of them have been offered assistance through the Red Cross and been given a place to stay for the night at a local hotel if they did not have any friends or family to go to. As Angelica mentioned, this is probably the biggest fire in Burlington's history, and residents are reacting much the same to how the fire department reacted.
It's curious. It's the most actions Burlington's seen in over 100 years probably, so it's, you know, we don't see stuff like this happen, and kind of curious of what happened and how it started. You know, most of these people around here are good, hard-working people, so it's kind of hard to see everybody lose their jobs out here.
And those that have been evacuated, if they're wondering and watching now when they'll be able to return home, you're simply being asked to call the Burlington Police Department to find out that information. For now, though, live in Burlington, Chip Brewster, Fox 6 News.
All right, Chip and Angelica out there live all morning long. Thank